The first question will be asked by Ms. Aurea Calica of the Philippine Star. How?
Sir, good afternoon po. Sir, what can you say about the decision of the Supreme Court allowing Senator Grace Poe to run and where most of your appointees voted in her favor?
Well, tulad ng dati, no? Siyempre, may desisyon, inulat nila kahapon, pero wala pa yung forma, wala pa nakakabasa ng desisyon, maliban sa sila. So, mayroon naman komentaryo doon sa hindi pa natin nabasa, puro speculation ang gagawin ko. Pero inaasahan ko na lang, siguro ito na lang bilang tugon, no? Inaasahan ko na marami kasi mga katanungan na, di ba, umusbong dahil dito sa issue tungkol kay Senator Grace. Sana yung ating Korte Suprema dito sa kanilang desisyon ay magbibigay talaga ng yung todo kalinawan na o paglilinaw sa sambayanan na in the role as educator as far as the law is concerned para maging klarong-klaro sa lahat ng ating mamamayan kung ano ba talaga mga alituntunin sa pagiging citizen or non-citizen ng ating bansa. Huwag natin kalimutan, di ba? Parang ako personally, may dalawang gusto makita doon sa desisyon. For instance, yung tinanggap na niya yung MTRCB position. Eh. At sa totoo lang, ayaw ko nakalimutan ko, pero ang pagkatanda ko, first time ko narinig na pumunta pa siya doon sa isang consular official na Amerika in 2011 para i-renounce yung citizenship. Kung saan panahon, MTRCB chair na siya. Hindi, walang nagkwento sa akin, walang nagbalita, walang formal report nung panahon yon. At palagi ko naitanong ko rin bakit kailangan pagawin. Dahil ang assumption ko matagal-tagal nang na-reacquire supposed to be citizenship. So gusto ko makitang sana may tugon doon sa mga tanong tulad nun, doon sa desisyon na hinintay natin ilabas ng Korte Suprema. Tapos doon sa mga appointees natin, siguro, palagay ko, di ba? Yung tinalaga natin sila para maging independent. O ginawa nila, independent sila. Babalik tayo doon, yung Korte Suprema, gusto natin makita, maliwanagan, lahat ng issues. Sana magkaroon ng kompletong tugon doon sa desisyon na ilalatalan na.
Sir, how will this impact the candidacy of your
Well, siguro,
administration standard bearer? And also, since according to a latest survey, si Senator Grace po pa rin po at saka si Bongbong Marcos yung nangunguna, especially nung People Power Week.
well, baka naman yung epekto ng people power madadama after the week of people power. Pero at the end of the day, tulad na sa dati sinasabi natin, yung pinaka-importanting talaan, May 9, yung araw na eleksyon. Pag may sinabing number 1 ngayon, sasabihin ng mga katungkulin niya, number 1 sila the week before or the week after. So parang walang point yun. Paano maapektuhan? Siyempre magkakaroon ng boost no? Sa kanyang kandidatura. Gano'ng katagal yung boost? Hindi natin masasabi yan. Pero ang dulo nga nito, yung siguro tinuro sa akin isa nakakatanda sa akin nung araw pa. Siguro lang pa isang dekada na, more than a decade ago. Yung dapat gawin mo yung kaya mong gawin. Intindihin mo yung kaya mong gawin. Huwag mo nang masyado problemahin yung sa bagay na wala kang kontrol. So yung gagawin ng mga ibang grupo, nasa kanila yan. Kami naman, parang may survey rin na nagsabi, 80% na nagsasabing dapat ituloy yung pantawid na programa. Na meron rin mga tumutulig na ngayon umaangkin ng pantawid pamilya. Yun ang value ng internet. Madali ma-research kung sino ang mga tutol na ngayon gustong ipagpatuloy at higitan pa. Sa 60 days or so natitira na kampanya, liliwanagin ko ng mga plano. Paano ba nyo palalakasin pa yung pantawid pamilya? Kung palalakasin yun, baka may nagkulang kami. Ang punto ko kasi nito, mga last 200,000 yung nalista noong 2009. No, last 200,000 roughly ang hindi saklaw pero sasaklawin itong taon na to. So mula 780,000, 4.6 billion. Ngayon, ano ba pwede gawin dyan? Nabanggit ko na dati, lumampas na sila doon sa poverty line. Pero pag nagkaroon ng bagyo o nagkaroon ng matinding karamdaman, pwede bumaba ulit below the poverty line. Ang next na mga kampanya dapat, paano ba natin itutulak sila palayo sa poverty line? Yung tinatawag na bagong grupo ngayon na near poor para mangyari man yung karamdaman o yung dilubyo, hindi sila babalik ulit sa pinakamatinding kahirapan.
Sir, pinapatanong po ng mga taga-TV yung tungkol po sa decision din ng Supreme Court na kailangan magbigay ang COMELEC ng voting receipts. Pero naman problema po yung COMELEC dahil sabi nila madadagdagan daw ng 10 oras yung um, electoral
hours.
process, yung
hours.
vote, yung counting kung gagawin yun.
Medyo hirap ako sumagot yan dahil yung Korte Suprema ko equal body, yung COMELEC independent. Pag nagsalita ako, pinakilaman ako silang dalawa. Pwede bang no comment na lang muna ako dyan? At pabayaan na yung mga ahensyang involved ng gobyerno ang tumugon.
So yung last na lang po, what made you decide to appoint Secretary Almendros as Foreign Affairs Secretary?
Di ba parang nag-function as cabinet secretary, nag-function siya parang troubleshooter. Ang dami niyang pinuntahan, whether yung pantalan, etc. Yung baka hindi masyado nating batid, yung pagsasara ng issue sa Hong Kong, malaking bahagi yung parte niya dyan. Yung dito sa naging gusot natin sa Taiwan, nakihalo rin siya dyan. Kasamahan ko siya kadalasan dito sa mga foreign engagement natin. Nakakadagdag siya sa mga trinabaho ni Secretary Albert at saka ng Department of Foreign Affairs. Lalo na pag yung mga, kasi katulad ng yung sa Taiwan, sa batas po natin na One China policy, prevented ang President, Vice President, Secretary of Foreign Affairs, at saka Secretary of National Defense from dealing with anybody in the Taiwanese government. Okay. So, tama-tama, yung somebody na senior, like the CAPSEC, could go at points in time without, well, actually, with adherence or full adherence to our One China law. So, yung bakit natin talaga, he has, of course, my utmost trust and confidence. He has proven his skills in so many different fora. And at the end of the day, yung pandadamay niya sa akin in the remaining, 113 days, no? Talaga sinagad-sagad ko na. It will be very difficult to get somebody to go through all of the hardship in this post with the expectation that they'll only do it for 113 days. Ngayon, I had expected Secretary Del Rosario to finish the term with me. But as you have noticed, his health has really deteriorated. When he stands up at an angle. And yung talagang nakakahiya na humingi pa tayo ng dagdag na trabaho mula kay Secretary Albert. So medyo nagmadali tayo. At fortunately, the CAPSEC was willing to take on this responsibility in the remaining 113 days.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The next questions will be from Ms. Nico Dizon of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, it's interesting to note that that Malacanang and the AFP are actually, they seem to be downplaying the presence of, or at least the influence of IS in Mindanao. But we know that in the Butig camp of the Maute group, it's fortified, there are insignias, etc. And they pledged allegiance to the ISIS. Sir, how do we explain all of the security situation in Mindanao now?
Yung naman tawagin na IS group sila, no? Parang pananaw pa rin namin. Matagal na yan, bago itong grupo, iba yung Kalipaya. AKP. Okay. Merong grupo tinatawag na AKP, Ansar ba? Ansar Kalipaya Philippines. Parang yung Kalipaya o yung Caliphate doon. Medyo last year, no? If I remember correctly. And most of their activities have been consigned to putting up the black flag and trying to call attention to themselves. Itong last na encounter na binanggit mo, parang kung di ako nagkakamali, first time na kumilos yung grupong yan. And what were they able to do? They harassed one detachment. And a detachment, by definition, is small. No? So, again, ginawa yun, tawag pansin, with the expectation, pananaw ng ating intel community, ang pananaw ay para makalikom ng pondo mula sa Middle East. Kumbaga, nagpapakita ng gilas. At balik na kayo doon, no? Is it ideological or religious? No, they will say it is. But primarily, we believe it is mercenary reasons that are prompting them to do this. At the end of the day, no, yung RAFP dealt with them.
But sir, the fact that they were able to fight for 9 days or so, they had the firepower.
Ang impression, perhaps I can give the Chief of Staff an opportunity to talk about the detail.
Yes, sir.
First of all, yung compound was initially built not by the group. It was built by some family Rido yan eh. Nag-umpisa kaya pati yung tower doon ginamit para sa Rido. So originally hindi sila ang gumamit noon. So nung nakita na rin opportunity na merong facility na gano'n, ginamit na nila. But based doon sa kanilang firepower, na sa panahon at alam mo naman doon sa Mindanao, sa ating mga kapatid na Muslim, ay talagang gusto nila, isa sa mga prized possession nila ay magkaroon ng armas. So it was not supplied by any group. Individually nila kinuha yun, na-acquire. So kaya nagkaroon sila ng ganong klaseng firearms.
Sir, but if we deploy the LRB, isn't, di ba ang focus nila are terrorist, itong anti-terrorist unit natin. So does that mean anything that more than the infantry, in-insert natin yung LRC?
Ang LRC hindi lamang para sa terorista. Any group that would threaten the lives of our people and the communities, ginagamit natin yan.
Okay, sir. Sir, thank you for the clarification.
Baka pwede ko idagdag, dinagdagan natin yung LRC. Kaya LRR na ngayon.
Regimen na nga pala, sir.
At kung di mo namang, di ba, part of their training is yung the ability to have experience. And this might have been proven, yung parang an opportunity. Yung, just a minor correction, no? Yung hindi pala ito yung AKP, ito yung remnants nung Jamia Islamia. Now, kaya nga remnants eh.
KM.
Sorry, ang dami talagang AKP, KIM. Basta bottom line, dating JI, si JI dating, di ba, kadikit ng, on dumidikit sa Al-Qaeda, medyo para throughout Southeast Asia, humina na talaga yung JI, they're trying to restart. Balik tong grupong to na dating Al-Qaeda, ngayon sumasapi doon sa IS.
Yes,
Di ba? So, patunay lang yata nung sinasabi namin na kung sino mo may resources, doon sila. Balik tayo. Not ideological, not religious, more mercenary reasons.
Okay, sir. Sir, kasi actually my next question would be na thinking given this threat in Mindanao, and then we're waiting for the decision of the UN Tribunal, and there are things happening in our Asian neighborhood as well. Sir, your last 113 days, would you be focusing on defense and security? Parang yun ba yung pinakamabigat mong kailangang i-handle before you turn over in June?
I wish I had the luxury to be able to say ito lang gagawin ko or majority of the time will be spent here. But the job of the president is you are responsible for everything all the time. Yung before it happened, while it's happening, and after it's happening. So, that will be a concern. Pero yung mga pagbabantay ko doon sa commitment sa akin tungkol sa Yolanda na to be accomplished by the end of our term, yung all of these promises made to me by the different departments and agencies, I would want to ensure are kept. Ulit-ulit yung reports na meron na apektuhan ng El Nino. So what are we doing about those particular areas that have borne the brunt? No? Yung first yung validation, totoo ba? Yung Zika na thanks to all of you is not being portrayed as a major outbreak dahil one person. Yeah, so things like that, no? Parang they continue to be addressed because di ba, parang I cannot, katulad ng kanina sa speech natin, hindi ko pwede sabihin na isa sektor na tutukan ko. Obligado akong tutukan lahat ng pangailangan ng lahat ng sektor.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Diyan po nagwawakas ang ating talakayan. Maraming po salamat, Ginoong Pangulo. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Magandang hapon po.
Okay, salamat.